If you type a yes, you can hear me loud and clear. Type a yes. Good afternoon, Abiola Balogun, Mr. Pius, Amos, Biodun, Madam
Good af-
Monaji. Good afternoon, Igwe, Joseph OTB. That looks like a new name. Good afternoon, everyone. All right. Yeah, good afternoon, Modelo. Okay, so today is 17th of December 2024. The month is gradually running to an end, likewise the year. So we're in the afternoon, pre-New York, sorry, pre-New York session analysis. I should get it instead. Now, we'll have some very important news events this afternoon. It's purely a fundamental session. That's what we're looking at. And we're looking at fundamental events from Canada. By 2:30 p.m., roughly 2 hours from now, we're looking at CPI from Canada. So there are about four CPI events by 2:30 p.m. There's the CPI monthly, median CPI yearly, trim CPI yearly, and the common CPI yearly. But all of them are just CPI. So let's just look at the main one, which is the CPI monthly. I'll click the envelope, the open detail button, and this is what we have. The source of this data is Statistics Canada. So that tells you that's an official government website. And this news measures the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers. And actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. That is the usual effect. So because the others are also CPI related, so we can just assume that the expectation will be the same, that actual greater than forecast will be good for the currency. Now, for the first one, which is the CPI monthly, the forecast is 0.1%. So if by 2:30 p.m. the actual data is released and is greater than 0.1%, that is from 0.2% upwards, that is expected to lead to a bullish movement, on the card pairs. I'm talking specifically about the card pairs where the card is the base currency, like card JPY or card CHF. And if on the other hand, the data release comes out actual less than forecast, that is any data less than 0.1, that can be 0.0 or minus 0.1 and below. If that's the data release, then that means we're expecting a bearish movement on the card. Now, because there are four events, this news cuts across four events. If the news comes out with the color green all through for the four events, that means we're going to be having a massive bullish breakout, on the card pairs. And if on the other hand, the data comes out and we have a red all through, that will lead to a massive bearish movement on the card pairs. Now, it's also possible to have the data conflict. It's a possibility where we can have some maybe green, while some are red, or we have some green, some black. Those are other possibilities that may happen. But then for now, let's just put our focus on either a green for a buy or a red for a sell. If it doesn't come out that way, if you have a green and a red, it will lead to spikes, which will be a buying and selling simultaneously. And if it comes out a green and a black, it may still be bullish, but then the black may water down the volatility. It may not be as bullish as if we have a green all through. The same thing if it's a red and a black, it may still go bearish, but then may not be as volatile as when we have the red all through. So that's just the fundamentals for the card. Now, this news will also be released simultaneously with a very important news from the United States, and that's the core retail sales and the retail sales. Two events to talks about the retail sales. Now, I'll click open the retail sales, and we say that this data is released from the Census Bureau in the United States. That is a government website, and it measures the change in the total value of sales at the retail level, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So as the news comes out and is affecting the card pairs, there's volatility also expected on the dollar pairs because of the core retail sales and the retail sales news from the United States. Again, if we have a green, data outcome, that will lead to a massive bullish movement on the dollar pairs. And if on the other hand, what we have is a red outcome, then that will lead to a massive bearish movement on the dollar pairs. Now, like I always say, today now, this news is going to be affecting both the dollar and the CAD. And the currency pair that connects these two base currencies together is the USD card. So I will advise you take a lot of caution trading the USD card, especially this afternoon session. If you're already on the trade on USD card, maybe you're in a swing trade, it's advisable you have your stop loss in place. Now, if the news comes out in such a way that we have a green all through, that's will affect the movement of you as a card as a currency pair because it means the card is strong and the dollar is strong. And it could either be erratic bullish, erratic bearish, or just range. Anything can happen. The same thing also if it's a red all through, which cuts across both the card and the dollar, it may give you some erratic movement, on the USD card. However, if on the other hand, we have the news coming out very good for the card and coming out bad for the dollar, yes, this kind of scenario may be a good one. It may lead to a massive bearish movement on the USD card. And the same thing if on the other hand, the news comes out bad for the card and good for the dollar, this may lead to a massive bullish movement on the card. Now, we don't know how the data is going to come out on both sides, so that's why we need to take a lot of caution. So please be very careful about your exit card. You can only trade it if you patiently wait till the data is released and you can see maybe it's all green for the card and red for the dollar, fine. Then you can look at the USD card in such a side. But if it comes out, the data comes out distorted, some green, some red, some black, please just stay out of USD card. Look rather at other card pairs, where the dollar is not involved. All right. So with that being said, I'll flip over now to the technicals and we'll look at currency pairs we could trade both for the card and for the dollar for the news we're expecting this afternoon. Now for the card, I'll put my attention on both the Euro card and the GBP card. Those are two pairs. If I would say even more of the GBP card, because GBP card currently is trading at a resistance level on the weekly and I think even on the monthly time frame. Yeah, on the monthly time frame. Now, this is GBP card and price is trading exactly on the resistance level, a previous support level. It's been a previous support level, support tone resistance, right from the monthly time frame to the daily and even to the 4 hour. Now, if you flip down to 4 hour time frame, this is what we have. And we can draw our trend line right here and a second one right at the back to give us a rising wave pattern. So either ways you want to look at the GBP card, it's actually having a bearish outlook. So how do we trade this? If the news comes out, please pay a lot of attention to this. If the news comes out good for the card, if it comes out good for the card, then that is expected to lead to a bearish movement on the GBP card. That is, if you have the actual greater than forecast, or you have a green scenario where the data is good for the card, where card is to go bullish, then the GBP card is expected to go bearish. So we're bearish on the GBP card with the understanding that we're looking for a data where the actual is greater than the forecast for the card, or generally where the overall data is good for the card. And simultaneously, we can also look at the Euro card. And for the Euro card, price currently is also trading around a resistance zone on the daily time frame. So this is Euro card. All right, so this is Euro card on the daily time frame. You can see we have this resistance zone and the price is just trading within that zone. We can zoom down to 4 hour and this is what we can see. It's still within that resistance zone. Again, the same thing that's outlook we have for the GBP card. If the news comes out good for the card, then Euro card is expected to go bearish. So if you see a green scenario on the card, you can look for an opportunity to sell the Euro card. So that's all I can see technically, for both the GBP card and Euro card, we are bearish. And those are the two currency pairs we're looking at to trade for the card this afternoon. Now for the dollar. Now dollar has not been very stable lately. We're not really getting any clear direction as regards the movement of the dollar. Now, for example, now this is USD CHF. It's completely not around the resistance level. I would just say if you want to trade retail sales, trade it with a lot of discretion. Trading with a lot of discretion. The dollar is not clear at the moment. And if you can stay out, stay out. If you have the news come out for the card and you can trade Euro card, GBP card, that should just be fine, because we don't really have clarity as regards the dollar at the moment. Even the dollar index is not giving us much analysis. We can't get much analysis as regards the direction of what the dollar index is saying at the moment. Price is just kind of ranging. And I always say this is actually expected. Once we cross to the middle of December, generally volatility can drop in the market. So I think we're already in that phase. So I think the emphasis this afternoon should be more on the card because we're not getting direction for the dollar. So please stick more with the card news, and trade it specifically looking at the Euro card and the GBP card. All right, so that'll be all from my analysis this afternoon. If you have a question or two, you can ask as we begin to round up for this analysis session. Gold. Like I always say, gold is going to be more influenced by what happens to the dollar. And this is gold. For gold, this is what I can say about gold. We'll only look at an opportunity to trade gold if gold can drop to this support zone. If it drops to this support zone, then we can look at a bullish breakout. But outside that, I will advise we just stand on the side and watch what the market will do. So gold needs to drop to a support. Now, if it drops to that support zone, let's flip down to a 1 hour time frame. If it drops to that support zone, then we can look out for a bullish breakout. We can draw a trend line and get the second one here, which gives us a very perfect falling wedge pattern. Price drops, then we'll trade the breakout. So that's all. So if the news comes out this afternoon and it comes out good for the dollar, yes, if it comes out good for the dollar, gold will drop. But then with an understanding that we're expecting a reversal for a bigger bullish movement. So that's my outlook for gold.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, I still wanted to find your opinion about DJ30, please, sir.
It's all right, ma'am. Let me quickly
Thank you,
attempt. You're welcome. Somebody asked about Euro AUD. So I was just about doing that. Once I'm done,
okay.
I'll check DJ30.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Euro AUD. Now, from my weekly outlook, I've been bearish on this instrument, and I still have that outlook, except the market structure changes. Now, this is Euro AUD on the daily time frame, and we can clearly see that price is trading around this resistance zone. And if we flip down to the 4 hour, this is what we have. Now, I was seeing this earlier as a potential head and shoulder. The price seems to be going up, but then it's still within the resistance. So a bearish break is still very much anticipated. This is a 4 hour. We can still zoom down to 1 hour. So for Euro AUD, we still have our bearish outlook. So if price breaks out downwards, you can trigger a sell on the Euro AUD. And please confirm that your RSI also crosses below 50. That's our final confirmation before we trigger a sell. So we're bearish on the Euro AUD. And Madam Anaji is asking about DJ30. So I'll flip now to DJ30.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
This Euro AUD, can we take it on both 1 hour and the 4 hours as you analyze both of them?
Yes, the 1 hour will trigger faster than the 4 hour. This is 1 hour you're seeing on the screen. If you go to the 4 hour, now for the 4 hour, let me see something here. For the 4 hour, we need to take our trend line from here. So so the 1 hour will trigger faster. For the 4 hour, price needs to break this other trend line before you can trigger a sell. So I think it's preferable you trade this on 1 hour, except you are a swing trader or you miss the 1 hour and you want to wait for the 4 hour. And even for the 4 hours, it will take a longer time for the RSI to cross below 50 compared to what we
Yes.
have on the 1 hour. So the 1 hour is just relatively faster.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Amen. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so DJ30. DJ32, just like what we have on gold, price is trending downwards, and there's a possibility it might touch the trend line here before it bounces in the bullish direction. I've looked at these instruments. I can't remember when precisely, but sometime recently, and you can see the support zone on daily. Will it drop there? Maybe, but at least all I know is that if you can touch the trend line or it drops to this support level, we can trade it back into the bullish direction. Those are the two levels it must get to, either one or both of them, before we experience a reversal on the DJ30. So I would say we are looking at it on a bullish angle, but then we need to patiently wait for price to touch. You may now ask the question, must we wait for price to touch? Well, we're following principles. Life is all about principles. Trading is all about principles and discipline, you know. And we should not also forget that we have a trend line here, which is very, very valid even on 1 hour. So we need either a corresponding support or possibly a trend line, for us, for price to break above to trigger a buy. So price may come here to touch the trend line and still drop before we finally expect the massive bullish breakout. Now, if you're a scalper, if you're there this afternoon, you're a scalper, if price touches the trend line again, you can lose an opportunity to trade downwards, because at that instance, rather, you will have had price touching the trend line multiple times, and price, this region here will be taken as a resistance level for price to drop. But that's just for scalpers. If you know that may be too fast for you, please don't bother about that. But wait rather for price to drop. This is a perfect falling wedge likewise. Wait for price to go up, down, where this place is like a support zone, then trigger back upwards. So that's my major view on the DJ30.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.
You're welcome. All right, so we'll look at Euro GBP and the GBP AUD. Okay, Euro GBP, I'm trying to get it on my screen. Okay, while I can find GBP AUD, let's start with that. Now for GBP AUD, I actually have a bearish outlook, but it looks like it's still in a world of its own. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll still have the reversal or not. Now, on the weekly time frame, we can see that this currency pair actually closed with a rejection candle last week, and this zone here is a resistance zone. That's on the weekly time frame. And okay, just to make it a little clearer, so we have a resistance zone on the weekly time frame, and on the daily, currently price is also trading at a resistance. There's a resistance level on the daily. That blue line is a resistance level on the daily. Now, earlier on, my outlook was a head and shoulder information, which means we were looking at a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder. However, there was a news that was released this morning from the United Kingdom, which came out good for the pound. So that news actually pushed, that's what is driving price up. So the question now is, will price break above this daily resistance? If price breaks above that daily resistance, it may still target the weekly resistance up there. But if it does not break above the daily resistance, if the volatility is dropping, then we may have the reversal from that point, and this region will still have formed the head and shoulder we anticipated earlier. So I would say that the GPAED is actually in a critical point, trying to make a decision whether to still go bullish or to go bearish. But then if the price reverses, then we'll have a perfect head and shoulder pattern, and we'll wait for the break line to trigger a massive bearish breakout. I tell you, this trade could actually be the one to close the year for GBP AUD, because the projection is that price may go as much as about 150 pips to Fibonacci 50, about 250 pips to Fibonacci 61.8, about 400 pips to Fibonacci 78.6. So let's just be patient and see what happens. Personally, I actually hold a bearish outlook, except if it changes. So this is the critical point where we're waiting for to see what happens, to the GBP AUD. And finally, I'll look at the Euro GBP. Okay, I can't find it, so let me open a fresh one. All right, so we can see that price is actually trading around a monthly support level or a support zone on the monthly time frame. That's this whole zone from this side. Flip to the weekly. You can still see the support zone on the weekly, daily, 4 hour. Okay, so now if you have a bearish outlook on the pound, Euro GBP is always in the opposite direction. We may be looking for a bullish movement. Though to be honest, at the moment, it's not clear. Now, the fact that it's coming from a monthly support zone could actually give us an inverse head and shoulder possibility on this one. Very, very possible. But then I am looking for more valid reasons why we should look at that, so that we're not just let's go down to 15 minutes. All right, now the 15-minute time frame, we're seeing a minor support here, and this will likely be a double bottom pattern. All right, so if you want to scalp with this, you can just look for a breakout of that neckline to trigger a bullish trade and target some 20 pips scalping, on the Euro GBP in the bullish direction. Please, somebody's device is on and it's causing some distraction. Let's put off our devices. So like I said, we are seeing a potential formation of a double bottom pattern here, which can trigger a bullish trade, which you can scalp for like some 20 pips. And that's just the scalping side. But on the swing side, this whole region, I still see it as a massive inverse head and shoulder. And if it works out like that, that means you are only looking to take a trade when price breaks above the neckline region up there. And to be honest, that will require some patience, just like we're waiting for the GBP AUD, the same thing. Both of them are negatively correlated. So if the GBP AUD is going to sell, then the Euro GBP will likely buy. So you need to just exercise patience to see it, evolve eventually. All right, the timer is on. I have less than 5 minutes to go. Joshua Corey, we've talked about gold. I believe you're just joining us, and we've analyzed gold already before you came. Maybe you watched the video. I'll drop the link in the WhatsApp groups so that you can check it out on YouTube. Euro USD is actually in a range at the moment. I would advise you take a lot of caution around the Euro USD. All right, you're welcome, Modelo. So that'll be all from my end this afternoon. Trade safe and see you later. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy the day.
You too, bye.
Bye, sir.